With wrestlers being on the road almost 300 days of the year, wrestling on TV tapings, pay-per-views, house shows and overseas tours, their chances of suffering an injury increase tenfold. When an injury occurs, wrestlers could potentially be out for weeks, if not months, as seen with some of the superstars on this list. Whilst it's hard to track every wrestler on the roster, this is the most up-to-date list of current WWE and NXT wrestlers who are injured and their rumoured wrestling return dates. Number 1. Noam Dar. The Scottish Supernova suffered a knee injury last year in December during a fatal 4-way match and subsequently required surgery. After undergoing successful surgery, he told WWE.com, "I learnt that I had a tear of the meniscus, a bucket-handle tear, which is a pretty common tear for athletes." Whilst he hasn't revealed his return date, he was expected to sit out on the sidelines for at least 5 months, so he should be close to returning. Number 2. Randy Orton. Fans will have noticed the recent former United States champion Randy Orton was missing off last week's episode of SmackDown Live, as well as WWE's recent tour of Europe. Sources have revealed that Orton had minor knee surgery last Tuesday, which would explain why he dropped the United States title at WrestleMania to Jinder Mahal in preparation for the surgery. He has also lightened his house show schedule as he wanted to give his body a chance to heal up during tours and spend time with his family. It's expected that Orton will not miss August SummerSlam pay-per-view and should be returning for action in July. Number 3. Samir Singh. One half of the Singh brothers, who accompany the modern-day Maharaja, injured himself exiting the ring in January this year, tearing his ACL and taking him off TV. Meanwhile, his brother Sunil Singh continues to accompany Jinder Mahal to his matches on Raw. Singh had successful surgery in January, and as for a return date, recuperation from ACL tears can be anywhere from 6 to 9 months. That would be a July return in the best possible scenario. Number 4. Jason Jordan. The kayfabe son of Kurt Angle underwent neck surgery in early February and has been taken off WWE programming ever since. Whilst rumours had circulated Jordan was going to return right after WrestleMania, he was backstage at Raw in Long Island a few weeks back and is expected to return to the company soon. In fact, PW Insider is reporting that Jason Jordan is scheduled to be part of the Memorial Day episode of Raw next week, with reports saying that he will be reuniting with former partner Chad Gable to reform American Alpha. Number 5. Alicia Fox. Fox, who was scheduled to participate in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble in January of this year, suffered a broken tailbone during an in-ring workout. She was expected to return in May, with reports surfacing in March of her being cleared to return to the ring, but for unknown reasons, her return has been delayed. Number 6. Tamina Snuka. Tamina's last appearance in the WWE was at the groundbreaking first Women's Royal Rumble match on January 28th. She would enter with the number 7 spot, but swiftly eliminated by Lita after being in the match for only a minute and a half. A little over a week after the Royal Rumble, Tamina would reveal on Instagram that she was undergoing surgery as she suffered a shoulder tear and is currently on the road to recovery. It's expected she will return no later than SummerSlam. Number 7. Tino Sabatelli. The NXT superstar was on the verge of igniting a feud with his former partner Riddick Moss until he suffered a torn pectoral muscle during a bout with the Velveteen Dream, which ended the feud abruptly. He has so far undergone surgery, but is expected to be out for the rest of 2018. Number 8. The Big Show. The Big Show was written off WWE television after his cage match with Braun Strowman, and completed surgery on his hip in September of 2017. Due to the injury, it was assumed that the Big Show had finally hung up his boots from wrestling. However, just before the Greatest Royal Rumble was set to take place in Saudi Arabia, the Big Show, who was advertised to appear in the 50-man Royal Rumble, was pulled out at the last minute. The Big Show revealed on the Stone Cold podcast why he did not take part in the historic event, explaining that he had a hole in his surgical scar where he was cut open from his hip surgery, mentioning, "They wound up cutting it open and excising the hard infection. Then they did an open wound treatment, which was all superficial." Once Show found the hole, he immediately told Vince McMahon he would be unable to travel all the way to the Middle East for the event, as traveling could have potentially made the hole bigger. Big Show is still recovering from the complications, which has in return delayed his wrestling return. In January this year, the Big Show signed a new 3-year deal. Number 9. Big Cass. After just coming off an 8-month injury and being drafted to SmackDown Live, the 7-footer wasted no time and started a feud with Daniel Bryan. But during the recent European tour, selling last week's beatdown from Daniel Bryan, he was noticeably limping and showing visible signs of discomfort and frustration after a bout in Newcastle. WWE posted an article and video on how he needs to be helped to the back at Sunday's live event in Munich, the final SmackDown show of the tour, and Cass was also pulled from Tuesday's Money in the Bank qualifier match with Samoa Joe due to what appeared to be a storyline injury, with many believing the whole injury was a work. However, on PW Insider Elite Audio, it was said Big Cass's knee is being evaluated to determine if he needs another ACL surgery. If that's the case, he could miss 6 or more months, which is devastating, as it seems the big guy has finally been given a good push. Number 10. Epico. Seems like the Clones just can't catch a break in the WWE. After Primo Colón missed several months of action due to recovering from knee surgery, his partner Epico would be sidelined due to a shoulder injury. Whilst his tag partner Primo has been wrestling on TV tapings, his partner is expected to be out for several months, but in all honesty, there is no expected return date. Number 11. Bobby Fish. During an NXT live event in Indianapolis on March 4th, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defended the NXT Tag Team Championships against Heavy Machinery. At some point during the match, Fish tweaked his knee and was not able to continue in the contest and was helped to the back after the match concluded. It was revealed that he had suffered minor tears in both his ACL and MCL and had undergone surgery in early March. It's expected he will be out of action until September of this year. Number 12. Riddick Moss. Tino Sabbatelli's ex-partner has also suffered a recent injury. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, he suffered a torn Achilles tendon and could be out of action for over 8 months, not making his return sooner than early 2019. And number 13. Dean Ambrose. Last year, Dean Ambrose was put out of action when it was revealed he suffered a bicep tear, forcing him to miss WrestleMania 34 and rendering him out of the ring for at least 9 months. Late last month, Ambrose and Renee Young were spotted in Birmingham, Alabama, indicating that Ambrose is back working with the WWE doctors as he rehabs a triceps tear and works towards a return to WWE. While WWE toured South Africa, Seth Rollins appeared on KFM 94.5's KFM Mornings with Darren Sherlin and Sibs and was asked about Ambrose getting back into the ring. Rollins noted that he's still working his way back, but the WWE Universe could see him in late spring/summer. He mentioned, "Ambrose is injured. Yes, I don't know the whereabouts or the details of his injuries. He had some pretty intensive triceps surgery earlier this year, so he's definitely still on the mend and rehabbing. But he'll be back and better than ever. You wait. Summertime, maybe late spring, whenever that wily guy gets back to normal." Well guys, that about wraps up this video here. As always, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.